Kelby had her work cut out for her at this year's Oneill Invitational. Last year's overall winner was King, and she make it 2 in a row. The talented and classy Jill Boyer has been training for months for this season opener, and the consistent Debbie Brown, a top seed in any competition she enters.
3 minutes into this heat.
The 20 women finalists, there were some exciting and dramatic moments, like when 25-year-old Sean Oneill, California's #1 wave sailor, experienced firsthand the powerful surf of Hukipa. As she came through the loser's bracket, she had winning potential, but in a matter of seconds, her luck had changed for the worst.
25-year-old Sean Oneill was 7th on the World Cup in 1984.
5'5", 110-pound Lorraine McClay was airborne more than any other woman competitor. Lorraine came up through the bottom of the loser's bracket right through the semifinals. With her fantastic aerial control, she sailed to the top, only to be succumbed by fatigue. Fatigue that held her to a 4th-place finish.
I did get tired. I was a bit overpowered, but in those kind of waves, I felt I could give it my all rather than, you know, chicken out.
Winds have now picked up to about 30, 35 miles an hour with stronger gusts. Pretty tough conditions, but the women are going to have to handle it. And the two are Kelby going against Debbie Brown.
No, we're not vicious ever. No, it's not like that. We've always, it seems to like me and Debbie are always in the finals together, you know, and so we're really good friends, and it doesn't really affect us that way. You know, it's one thing on the water, we're like trying to do our best, but it's more like you're competing against yourself.
Although Debbie and Kelby are good friends, Debbie might take winning a bit more serious.
For me, it's visualizing a few heats in a row, because I think there's a tendency to get tired after 1 or 2, and so you have to spend a lot of time visualizing yourself going through 5 or 6 heats at one time. And then you work on the feelings of winning and how great that feels and everybody congratulating you, and also concentrating on performing your best rather than beating somebody.
In 1983, Debbie Brown won this very same event. And with her philosophy, she pictured herself winning today. And that she did.
Yeah, I gave her this nail polish.
Yeah, she did. She gave me
I won on this. I had this nail polish on, and I did. It's the winning factor.
This is sort of like the gloves of...
It is. It's the gloves of a champion. I didn't have any on.
We'll pass on the ceremonial orange nail polish.
Never shouldn't have given the polish.
What do you get when you take the best wave sailors from 12 degrees with optimum sailing conditions, then give them the green flag? Meet the Hukipa Air Force. This is a super session, the ultimate expression session, one of the many added features at the Oneill Invitational. It offered $500, winner take all, for the most outrageous performance. The impossible is often untried, but here they tried it all.
the pink sail.
Without a doubt, Wetter was better. The judges awarded 17-year-old David Wetter the Super Session title as the most outrageous performer. The rapid evolution of high-performance sailing equipment has given these guys the confidence to push it to the limits. And it all started with pioneers like Matt Schweitzer.
The equipment has changed dramatically. Back then we're on, 45-pound, 12-foot long boards, which are not maneuverable, and, we get some equipment changes probably once every 3 months or something new in the sport.
To keep a waves, you need more of a board like this, which is an asymmetrical tail. And the boards that we sail at Diamond Head are more symmetric boards, and I use channels for grip. Well, I gotta get out there and try out this new...
All right, good luck.
See you guys.
Bye. Thanks.
High-performance equipment carries a high price tag.
Scotty?
Oh, I fell off an aerial. The mast got caught under the board and snapped it off. That happens.
There are a special group of sailors, and they are called the loopers. They do the most spectacular thing in wave performance sailing. They do a 360-degree aerial loop off the wave. There's only about 12 of them in the world that can do it. And one of the most talented loopers there is a fellow by the name of Chris Lassett.
I've been attempting loops for about the last year and a half, and had a pretty good deal of success lately. It's an extremely difficult maneuver in that you end up breaking a lot of equipment and smashing up your boards and your sails and your body.
He's broken a side of ribs, compressed all the vertebrae in his neck, and has gone through thousands of dollars worth of equipment. If it wasn't for Chris's artistic talents, he'd be in the poorhouse.
I do have to be careful. I hope I don't get injured so I can continue my painting career, but the thrill of doing loops is so great that I can't give it up. I just want to continue with it. I think I have a great advantage over a lot of artists in that I'm out of the water all the time, and getting a first-hand experience is what's going on out there, and try and convey that through to my canvas. And paint in the morning till about 12 o'clock, and then go sailing for the rest of the day, and then come back and paint at night. And I get a lot of inspiration from windsurfing because of the contact with the waves and the wind and the ocean, all those elements I try to incorporate into my work. So it's about the best thing I've ever gotten into, this windsurfing.
An accomplished artist of collector status, Chris's paintings sail in the 5-figure range to the likes of the Rockefellers. His work can be seen in galleries throughout the world. But it's the loop that seems to be his driving force. Loops are by far one of the toughest moves to pull off in sailboarding, and they are equally as hard to capture on film. But if you're Dan Merkel, ace motion picture cameraman, getting a loop should be a piece of cake.
I've been filming the windsurfers doing what they call a loop, where they hit a wave and they go all the way around with their board and sail. You can only do it on the right wind conditions and the right wave size, and there's only a few windsurfers in the world who can do it. So I spent 2 months just to get...
Good job.
To get the best shots, you have to yourself on the line. You've got to be right out there in the impact zone, and you've got to have the windsurfers run you down. That's basically what it comes down to. And I always tell them, come close, come close. Sometimes they come a little too close, you know, and I jerk the camera back and whoa. But that's the best way to get those shots is just about have them run you down.
Dan's daredevil tendencies, or madness, however you may look upon it, has made him one after wet cameraman in the world.
Photographing windsurfing from the water is very dangerous, traveling in many different directions. Windsurfers riding a wave in, well, there's one coming, so I have to have eyes in the back of my head. Hitting the legs and the back, and I've hit on the head just a couple of times.
All the shot water here at the Oneill Invitational that bring you that extra step closer to the action are in the hands of the Merc. The Invitational's most intense event is the men's competition. Out of the 77 international competitors, only 2 will make it to the finals. Here, the battle to the top bracket is vicious. These dudes will try anything to win.
Schweitzer, 25 years old.
Son of the originator of windsurfing, Matt Schweitzer is a 16-year seasoned veteran. At the age of 25, he owns 13 world titles.
You go first. I'm not sure if it works.
I was basically the first one to sail in the waves, and last year I had a little bit of bad luck, just some stitches from the skeg, and I landed on my side and got an internal bleed, pulled my kidney and ruptured my spleen, but that's all over with. I won't do that again.
A 3-year pro, he's been wave sailing for 10 years, and he's
The East Coast of the United States is well represented by this man alone. An all-around sailing talent, Ken is the consummate professional.
The competition's too tough now. I have to live here on Maui in order to be competitive. So I'll go back to Annapolis sometime, but I have to retire then.
Up and riding, winner on the yellow and orange sail. Ken with a nice re-entry.
Mike Waltz, winner of this event 2 years ago, is a 15-year veteran and is only 25, a pioneer who was to conquer Hukipa Beach.
Yeah, I'm worried. I'm always worried. There's about at least a half guys here that could take it. It just, you know, it all depends on the day. The wind, the conditions, the waves, and who's feeling best that day.
Here's Walt approaching this wave. He's on a white sail with the orange panel. The wave. Watch Walt get outrageous there.
Champion Tatsu Hoshino has 3 years of solid competition experience and is now beginning to match the moves of the hot Hawaiians, but is still in awe of the heavy hitters.
What I want to do is live in Maui and every day go out sail, not be loving us. It's too hard.
Winds have now picked up to about 30, 35 miles an hour with stronger gusts. Pretty tough conditions, but the women are going to have to handle it. And the 2 are Kelbiana going against Debbie Brown.
The 20 women finalists, there were some exciting and dramatic moments, like when 25-year-old Oneill, California's #1 wave sailor, experienced firsthand the powerful surf of Hukipa. As she came through the loser's bracket, she had winning potential. But in a matter of seconds, her luck had changed for the worst.
25-year-old Sean Oneill was 7th on the World Cup in 1984. And
5'5", 110-pound Lorraine McClay was airborne more than any other woman competitor. Lorraine came up through the... Kelby had her work cut out for her at this year's Oneill Invitational. Last year's overall winner was King, and she make it 2 in a row. The talented and classy Jill Boyer has been training for months for this season opener. And the consistent Debbie Brown, a top seed in any competition she enters.
3 minutes into this heat.
The bottom of the loser's bracket right through the semifinals. With her fantastic aerial control, she sailed to the top, only to be succumbed by fatigue. Fatigue that held her to a 4th place finish.
I did get tired. I was a bit overpowered, but in those kind of waves, I felt I could give it my all rather than, you know, chicken out.